at fox.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts on this Wednesday. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox Local as well as our Fox 6 YouTube page. A lot of weather to recap across the U.S. I mean, areas west of us dealing with showers and storms, but also down south, the southwest, dealing with some tropical moisture moving in.
And some amazing video, some of it from places you don't expect that kind of weather to come from. All of that is still to come just in the next few minutes here. But before we look ahead, I want to take a look back because 66 years ago today, a sleek black rocket plane roared into history. It was called the X-15. It was a joint project of NASA and the Air Force and the Navy. Made its first powered flight today in 1959. Test pilot Scott Crossfield fired 8 rocket engines, pushing the aircraft past the speed of sound at more than 50,000 feet. Over the next decade, 12 pilots flew nearly 200 missions, reaching the edge of space at 354,000 feet and speeds of up to 4,500 miles per hour. All those lessons learned, of course, paved the way for the space shuttle and all the future spacecraft, proving that astronauts could actually get out of our atmosphere and eventually reach the moon. And they first, of course, had to ride that X-15. You can see them examining it there.
Wow, it does look very sleek.
So the anniversary of the first powered flight of that revolutionary rocket plane, as they called it back in the day.
That's amazing footage. All right, well, let's bring it back to the present, more so yesterday, and in the way of just active weather. We're going to go out to New Jersey now. Check out this video. This is from the Jersey coast. Wind gusts are clearly whipping up the sand, creating rough waters on a beach in Stone Harbor. This was caused by an offshore coastal storm, which also brought scattered showers to the region. The National Weather Service warned of high rip current risk in the area, warning swimmers that they could easily be swept away from shore and into deeper water. That actually reminds me, I was in South Carolina years ago when there was, actually, the last 2 times we were in South Carolina, there were tropical storms or hurricanes, and that's what it looked like. The sand was just whipping. It looked like snow almost with some of that high wind.
Yeah, well, like you see, it does. It totally looks like the snow.
It's incredible. And then it hurts, too, because it's just pelting you.
Well, it's like literally sandblasting you, right? I mean, that's how they remove paint and things off of some. So, yeah, I can imagine it was past the point of a exfoliation treatment, and definitely painful, but it does, you're right, it looks exactly like, that powdery snow that we get here on a cold winter's day, just blowing along the sidewalk. It's been a very rough couple of days in the Mid-Atlantic. We've got another great video from Virginia, one of our Fox Weather cohorts, Katie Byrne, filing this video of flooding in that area. You can see the significant amount of rain that has piled up in the streets. Obviously right there blocking the street from that same storm system, creating the strong wind and the shore issues that we were just looking at earlier. And that heavy rain is continuing to move a little farther up along the shoreline. As it continues to the north, businesses are being impacted by not only flooding, of course, in the northeast, but as we look here locally, businesses impacted by our flooding last month. Well, there's some good news for you finally. You might be getting some financial relief. Governor Tony Evers is calling on businesses to apply for federal disaster loans through the U.S. Small Business Administration. Now, keep in mind, this is separate from individual assistance programs that's offered through FEMA. Businesses in Milwaukee, Washington, and Waukesha counties are eligible for most of the help. Some relief is also available for businesses in Dodge, Fond du Lac, Jefferson, Ozaukee, Racine, Sheboygan, and Walworth counties. That basically covers the entire FOX6 viewing area. So as we see fresh flooding on the East Coast is good to know. The back here at home, a little over a month now from the floods that we had here, we're getting even more good news. First the FEMA announcements, and now this, which is, really good. A lot of those businesses, some incredible long-standing businesses that are, independently owned or small groups, really need that support because without it, we lose them.
Right, exactly. And then now, improvements can continue to be made now that money is flowing in. I'm sure some stuff has already happened, but it can just continue to help in our area, which is what we want to see.
I think in the video you saw the Cafe Hollander in Tosa. That beautiful little area on Tosa by the train tracks and by the little river there hit really, really hard. Yeah, there's the Hollander right there. And then the Bucketjabon, or however you want to say it, also impacted. And so those little businesses that are, smaller restaurant groups and mom and pop shops, as they say, this isn't something that they can just chalk up to a loss like a bigger corporation. They need the support, so really good news. Happy to hear that. Yeah,
and they have cute little boutiques in that area too.
It's a beautiful spot,
we feel for all of you, and happy that, again, this is finally coming your way. Let's go out west now, talk wildfires. So firefighters across the Bay Area tracking the threat of dry lightning and fire danger this week. Meteorologists say the hot, dry weather this week will be followed by the remnants of a tropical storm late this week. And that could cause lightning, which always brings fears about lightning-sparked wildfires. Now, firefighters say they're getting ready to make sure any fires that start don't spread. Wow. Hoping that doesn't happen.
That's right. And then we go to Florida again for a little bit of a beach backlash, if you will, in Brevard County. Parish Park in Titusville, space town there, obviously, went through upgrades for years, and it took just days for it to be destroyed. Fox 35's Esther Bauer is getting the look at the upgrades that are falling apart.
New plants didn't last long here at Parish Park. Take a look. These were just put in within the last week or so. A storm came through and several of them are already being washed away into the water. The county says this wasn't supposed to happen, and it's not the only thing people who love this park are frustrated with. Where I'm standing used to just be a sandy beach. Now you can see it's a sidewalk and paved parking. People say some of these upgrades are actually making this area worse. Brand new plans didn't last long at Parish Park in Titusville.
That was just from an afternoon storm. It wiped it out down there. It was pointless.
Emotions are raw for Jennifer Cadiz, who spent decades at the beachfront park.
Heartbreaking. It's angry. It's sad.
She hates seeing the sandy shore covered in sidewalk and plants blocking any place for people to sit. She's still struggling to understand why officials shut it down several years ago.
This is everything to us, and they took it.
So we tracked down who made the changes and why.
But unfortunately, it's not our park.
The mayor of Titusville says it wasn't the city. We asked FDOT since it's by a causeway, and they told us it wasn't them.
It went from this person's hands to this person's hands to this person's hands.
The county says it made the change to stop rowdy partying on the weekends. We're told people would back their vehicles up to the shoreline and park, launch boats, and this was detrimental to the shoreline as well as the river. As far as the plants plummeting into the water, that wasn't supposed to happen. The county told us, unfortunately, we had 2 bad storms with high winds and lots of rain that caused damage to some of the plants that had just been planted a week prior. Only a few weeks before the planting, we had a drought. We just do not get a break. We will complete the project at the end of the month. Some don't want it finished, but wish it would go back to the way it was.
We're just not seeing the utilization in our beach, and I think that's what has everybody concerned.
Take it all out. Put it back the way it was.
And the mayor tells us he is hearing from a lot of you at home about concerns at this park, and he's sending those to the county. He also wants people to reach out to the D1 county commissioner because that local representative is new, and she may be able to help you make changes at the park. Reporting in Titusville, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
And speaking of intense weather, new video out of the Sunshine State shows just how quickly the weather can change. So check this out. So first you clearly see the blue skies. Oh, bam! Then just an hour later, rain and thunderstorms, including an incredible shot of lightning, which you saw at the beginning. Now, according to NOAA, Florida is near the top in rainfall totals during the summer. And a lot of that you'd have to think has been over the past couple of weeks because they had that stationary front. Right. So Florida's been dealing with rain for, it feels like 3 straight weeks now.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going. Kind of like we've had fog and then sun, fog and then sun. So we were stuck in a blocking pattern. They were stuck in a different different kind of blocking pattern, and we're about to get soggy too. We'll circle back to that, but what a great video. Now, earlier this week, we talked about the Utah tornado, and we had a picture. Now we actually have video. This is a tornado in southern Utah. Look at that video right there. It shows the funnel in the desert area in San Juan County, in the southeast part of the state. National Weather Service meteorologist Chris Sanders there says tornadoes, of course, are rare occurrences. We talked about that on the show here as well. There have been fewer than 6 in the area. 6 since the 1950s.
Wow.
So 75 years almost. The Navajo Police Department says the tornado damaged at least 3 homes before moving into Colorado. So yeah, we had the still footage and now the video, and you can just see it's almost, I don't mean this in a positive way, but it's a picture perfect scenario. I mean, it's such a well-formed funnel there, and just really bringing that debris ball up. And what a rare sight for 6 since the 50s.
Yeah.
And for this to be, arguably, it's probably the first caught on video.
Probably.
I would imagine it's got to be.
And we
Or
just
at
keep
least one
talking
of.
about events like these that keep happening in spots that, you know, don't often see them.
Right, we are definitely
Little
seeing rare.
eye-opening.
Now, some of that is just the fact that we have cameras everywhere.
That
now,
is
too,
very, very true.
right. To be fair, but we're not seeing more meteors, even though you're seeing them on TV a lot more.
Yeah.
We're just catching them because we have all these Ring doorbells and dash cams, and we're seeing them we weren't before. But when you only have 6 since 1950, that's a rare event to catch on video, and so we had to share it. All right, let's switch gears one more time. Come right back here to home, because Mother Nature is about to shift gears on us.
It is. We are watching a storm system that's out west right now, bringing rounds of rain and potentially some severe weather to the northern and central plains. But that storm system is eventually going to move our way. Timing isn't great. It's over the weekend. We will be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. I'm not expecting washout days, but it may be kind of tricky to do, you know, extended or be outside for extended periods of time with some of these incoming showers and storms. So it's only Wednesday. We've got some time to prepare, but that system right now is out towards the west. And you can tell it's pretty broad too, impacting plenty of communities. Now in the southwest, we talked about this earlier, some tropical moisture moving onshore. That's from a post-tropical storm. Mario was the name there, and then that mid-Atlantic to southern New England states still dealing with that system that's primarily offshore, just feeding moisture, high waves, rip currents, rain, wind to those communities. And we also talked about all the activity that's been happening around Florida as of late. The rain continues in southern Florida throughout the day today. So there are a handful of spots across the U.S. that are a bit more active than those of us here in eastern Wisconsin. Even western Wisconsin has had some thunderstorm activity throughout this week. But those of us in the east, we've enjoyed sunshine, warmer than average temperatures, so we're living the good life here. When it comes to heavy rainfall, you can tell it is out towards the west, especially across parts of South Dakota near that low pressure system. It does extend down into the southwest though, because of all of that tropical moisture moving in. There's that one spot along the mid-Atlantic and then southern Florida that could see some heavy rainfall throughout the day today. Not a huge threat for severe weather. There is a marginal risk near that low pressure system across the northern plains right now that extends into northern Texas. You can see that slight risk south of Denver, and that'll continue throughout your afternoon and evening hours. Now, bringing you back closer to home, we're actually still under the influence, at least in Milwaukee and eastern Wisconsin, of a high pressure system. It's east of us, but it's enough to still bring us some sunshine. So that low pressure stationary boundaries off towards the west, they're going to stay out west for now. The system is barely moving, so you can tell all of the rain and the thunder primarily across the Dakotas and Nebraska, and then out ahead of the storm system across Iowa and soon to be southern Minnesota, central and southern Minnesota. This is eventually going to move eastward here in the coming days, likely arriving in our area, bringing some rain and thunder starting Friday night and then on and off throughout the weekend, but then also potentially into early next week. So this system's likely going to become cut off, meaning it has nothing to really push it along. So it's going to meander around our area for some time. For now, no weather problems though. Green Bay to Milwaukee, we are enjoying sunshine, just a few high thin clouds up north as well as towards the west. Now southwestern Wisconsin seeing a little bit of this rain and thunder associated with the system out west. That's where it'll stay though today. The rest of us will maintain dry conditions. So for the rest of your day today, again, maybe a few pop-ups or isolated showers and storms north and west of us here in Milwaukee. We're going to stay dry. And even into Thursday, you can tell that that's the trend. A bit more cloud cover out west as well as up north, maybe some showers and thunderstorms, but here in the southeastern part of Wisconsin, we're still expecting dry conditions. Now, I do expect that to change later Friday night. We'll start to see an increase in cloud cover to end the week, so maybe more of a partly sunny sky on Friday, and then you can see almost a line of showers and thunderstorms developing south and west, and that will eventually move northward here throughout the day Saturday. But then notice how we see a few more rounds developing, maybe late day Saturday, early Sunday morning. It's just the way the weekend is looking to play out at this point. So today, tomorrow going to be dry, most of Friday going to be dry, but into early next week, we will have the chance for showers and thunderstorms. Now, temperatures have been impressive the last couple of days. Milwaukee hit 79 yesterday, but everywhere else across the state, we're well into the 80s. We have more 80s in the forecast today and more heat out down south, I should say, as well. Look at how many spots we'll see highs in the 90s. Now, where that storm system is located out west, that's where temperatures are cooler. So going forward into the weekend, as that system moves into Wisconsin, we too will see slightly cooler temperatures, but still expecting to see 70s, which is maybe a little bit more pleasant for many of you compared to the 80s. Look at our forecast highs for today across the state. Just incredible warmth. This is what we should be seeing July, early August, even well above our seasonal high at its highest in Milwaukee, which is 82 late July, early August. So this is a little warmer than where we should be for this time of year, to say the very least, with our average high right around 74. So a couple more days in the 80s here in southern Wisconsin. As some of that rain and thunder move in over the weekend and into early next week, temperatures will drop a bit. We're talking 70s though, so even those numbers for this time of year, little bit above average. And it still looks very likely as we end September and start October, above average warmth stays with us. And remember, it is half because we have dropping average temperatures. Notice by the end of this month, average highs will be in the upper 60s. So as I just showed you that outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, it does look again that above average warmth stays with us, but it will primarily be 70s. That's the latest look at your regional forecast. We have a lot more coming up. We're going to talk about corn with Lisa. Stick around for that. Let's take a live look outside though.
And apples.
And apples,
I think
right.
we're having a cooking segment.
Okay,
Are we
here
going to be in
for
the
it.
kitchen next?
Oh, let's go.
That would be fun. We should do that sometime.
We should.
Stick around.
back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts. We talk about so much on this show. There's so many things that are weather related.
Right, or weather adjacent, I like to
Yes,
say. You know, I mean,
exactly.
the weather impacts everybody and everything out there in one way or another. And we're impacted by it sometimes with the things we eat.
Exactly. So we all know it's corn season, but corn also has been talked about a lot in the world of weather. Meteorologist Lisa Michaels explains.
The Corn Belt, a large area where corn grows, includes Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, and Wisconsin.
In this area, we have something known as corn sweat. And believe it or not, it's a real thing. It's done through a process called evapotranspiration. When precipitation falls to the ground, that is absorbed up through the plant and goes into the corn itself. The kernels then release that moisture, known as sweating, into the atmosphere.
Evapotranspiration is the sum of all processes by which water moves from land to the atmosphere. This occurs via transpiration, evaporation of water from plants, and evaporation, the general process of liquid from the soil turning into water vapor. The added water vapor in the air increases humidity levels, making it feel more uncomfortable outside. Higher humidity or dew points can contribute to atmospheric instability, which can create conditions favorable for thunderstorms. Now, this doesn't mean that corn sweat causes storms, but it can influence the development of them. Higher humidity can also contribute to warmer nighttime temperatures and higher heat index values.
Not only does the moisture in the corn impact the atmosphere near the surface, but it can also make it easier for corn to cook in the microwave. You see, we talked about how the kernels maintain the moisture within them. When we leave the husk on the corn, the husk then acts as a natural steaming pouch. So when we put this in the microwave, it actually steams itself and cooks it evenly all the way around, and also maintains the corn's natural flavor. When we take this out of the microwave, it creates an easy and quicker process for eating.
Rinse the corn underwater if there is dirt on the husk. Then remove any loose pieces of husk or silk, and if the stalk is too long for your microwave, trim it with a knife. Place the corn on a microwave-safe plate or dish and microwave on high for 3 to 4 minutes.
Once it's done out of the microwave, you want to use a pot holder to get it out because it will be very hot. Once you take it out, you want to place it down on your counter or cutting board and let it cool down for a few minutes. Once it is cool like this one is, you want to cut the side of your corn that's on the bottom attached to the husk, not the top part of it. When we put it down then back on our cutting board, you're going to place your pot holder over it and cut 1 or 2 kernels in from the base of it. When you do so, it's going to look like this. We'll have still a couple rows of kernels there, but this side will be clear. Then what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze it out like this so it's mess-free, easy to get out. You can put it on your plate, put in your corn holders, and it's ready to eat.
Hey, there you go. I've been doing that hack for a while now, so I'm glad Lisa's sharing it with the world if you haven't tried it before. It's the smartest way to do it.
It is. It makes life so much easier and it's so much quicker.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, my mom would give us the corn, go sit in the back, and we'd have to, you know, shuck it, as they say.
Yeah.
And it would be everywhere.
I
All
know,
the stuff
so
would be
messy.
all over and stuck to our skin. So great idea.
Yes.
Now we go from corn to apples. Yes, if you're not up for corn, maybe you should head out to your favorite orchard. Several orchards that are already open in southeast Wisconsin include the Barthel Fruit Farm in Mequon.
That's one of my faves.
Apple Land Farm Market in Fredonia, Apple Holler in Sturtevant, the Honey Creek Orchard in Cedarburg. I was just there last weekend.
Those are great pictures.
It is wonderful. You should check it out if you have kiddo. You should take your kids there.
Yeah.
Patterson's Orchard in New Berlin, Bossy's Farm in Colgate, Jelly's Market in Helenville, and I'm sure there are others. We'll be watching the weather closely so that you can get out there and do some apple picking. And don't sleep on the Zestars. I just discovered them. They're really good. We're back. We're really good too, aren't we? Yeah, stick around. You can watch some more. All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local and the Fox 6 YouTube channel. Now, of course, if you ever have any questions, maybe you've got some corn hacks to share of your own, hit us up on the QR code. Had a great one that came in. It's very timely, asking about the equinox, which is on the 22nd at 1:19 p.m. our time. And is it true that the sun actually rises due east and sets due west? And the answer is yes, because of the way we're aligned with the sun at that time and the way it passes through the sky. It's a perfect east to west on that date.
Wow, that's really fascinating.
The equidistant night and day thing is a bit of a myth that doesn't really happen on that day, but the east to west thing does. So watch for that on the 19th or 22nd at 1:19.
Yeah, that's on Monday. And again, if you have any questions like that, then feel free to send them our way. All right, let's talk sunflowers just for a second.
All right, we're finally getting this in.
We're
It's
finally
a great
getting
story.
this in, and because it's huge, it's a new Guinness World Record holder for tallest sunflower ever measured. Yeah, just you got to keep watching the video. It keeps going.
It just keeps going.
And going. You have to climb a ladder to reach the top of it. It's nicknamed Clover and was just confirmed by the Guinness World Records. It measured at 35 feet and 9 inches tall. Can you believe that?
That is crazy.
I'd love to see it.
How big are the seeds is what I want to know. Are they huge too? All right, I have many questions, but what a great video. Thanks for watching. If you've got questions, send them in. We'll see you tomorrow.